I'll take a pound of nuts. That's a lot of nuts!
Good old Kung Pao. I love Kung Pao. What's up, pups? Excuse me. Welcome to another episode of the Power Up Podcast. Just show that just likes to look inside the old pop culture area, see what's happening, see what good news there are out there, or bad news, ugly news, demonic news, if you want to go that route. But it is Monday, so obviously everyone wishes it was, again, the weekend. But we'll get there. We'll get there again. If you're new to the show and you find it enjoyable and you like to hang out, never mind. I was going to say some more, but that doesn't make sense. But anyway, if you enjoy the show, feel free to smash the subscribe and punch that thumbs up and turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. Power Up Podcast show is usually on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday, 8 p.m. Central Time, with Tuesdays and Thursdays and like the weekend, some gaming. Just finished up Luigi's Mansion 2. Continuing Blue Dragon, and I might be looking into playing another game here, maybe a hack and slash, if I can check my backlog list, see what we got going on in terms of what games to play. But yeah, we've got some news articles pulled up here. The biggest one we'll be talking about is the Dragon Quest creator. It's not really happy with the censorship going on, and we'll take a look at it. I think we should have enough articles that should have the transcript and stuff, but they're being lied to because they're being told there's some sort of regulation when there isn't. But we'll get into that. There's been talk about DMC, with Reuben Langdon not voicing Dante in the upcoming Netflix series. And there was a little buzz going around that he quit acting, but he's not quitting from what I can see. And I even sent out an email and asked him, because I've had him on the show before, see what's up. But because of the COVID mandates, which should all be non-existent now, because a lot of what they said about old COVID was wrong and a lie. But we'll look into that. And then, of course, we've got some Assassin's Creed Shadow news happening, and amongst other articles that caught my eye, so let's hop into it. Don't have a scoop of peanut butter before you go live on a show. Lesson learned. I have some sitting right here. Get my, a little fiber in or something. But Ken Kataragi claims everyone at Sony thought the PlayStation would fail. He left Sony in 2007 following the difficult launch of PlayStation 3. So this caught my eye. This comes from Video Game Chronicle. Oh yeah, someone from Video Game Chronicle was like spurging out because Vera Dark talked about how like if game journalists put up the entire playthrough of a game and whatnot, they would fail just because, they're biased and they only play a couple minutes and stuff. And one guy apparently over here was spurging out, saying it'd be impossible and stuff, like the narcissism from it. It's just like, oh my gosh, like transparency like terrifies these people, because you begin to learn, if you haven't already, that they are not real gamers. A lot of them, they talk the talk, but they just barely have enough talking points to get by. So anyway, former SIE president and the man often referred to as the father of the PlayStation, Ken Kutaragi, has claimed that everyone at Sony thought the PlayStation would fail. Speaking at the Tokyo Game Show this week, he spoke about his ambition to enter the gaming hardware space in the mid-90s. And the nose itches, gosh. I hate everything. We wanted to share the passion, he told the audience. We wanted to hear their expectation and what they did not expect, so we wanted to hear from them. So we visited dozens of companies, if not hundreds. We visited a lot of game makers. It was a great memory. They were not interested. They just said, don't do it. There were multiple companies, and none of them were successful. You're going to fail. That's what they told us. So since leaving Sony in 2007, Kutaragi has sat on the board of e-commerce firm Rakuten, app developer Smart News, and GA Technologies, which runs an AI-powered real estate listing website. He's best known as the architect of the original PlayStation, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3. The engineer departed in 2007 following the challenging launch of the third console, which is estimated to have initially cost Sony billions in losses. He has remained at Sony as senior tech advisor. Kutaragi is perhaps best known for his hubristic statements during the era of the PlayStation's first three consoles, including referring to Xbox 360 as just an Xbox 1.5. Ouch. Suggesting that PlayStation fans should work longer hours to be able to afford a $600 PS3. Yeah, I mean, I like the PS3, but yeah, that was expensive at the time for sure. But man, that backwards compatibility, if you got the OG one, was awesome. I think, obviously the yellow ring of death was a big issue because it would overheat a lot. But the same thing happened with the Xbox 360. Sorry, there's like a bug that keeps flying around, and I'm trying to kill it. But the 360 had the red ring of death too. And unfortunately, obviously the newer PS3s were better, but the old one, just overheated. So they could have probably done a little bit better in terms of making sure it wouldn't overheat. But a lot of people didn't realize that you should keep it vertical, not horizontal. But alas. But I just wanted to read this. This caught my eye, a rather short article here. This one also caught my eye. Yoshi P questions whether it's possible to remake Final Fantasy IX as a single title. We read an article supposedly like a remake of 9 is in the works. Apparently, the Final Fantasy XIV's director says it's a game with huge volume. Volume. Potential Final Fantasy IX remake could span more than one title, Square Enix's Naoki Yoshida has suggested. In an interview with Video Games, that's it? That's really what it's called, just Video Games? I want to open this up because I legitimately want to know. It's from www.si.com. I just like how it was just Video Games. SI Swimsuit? SI Sportsbook? What? What's going on? But anyway, we'll go back over to Video Game Chronicle. So the Final Fantasy XIV director and Final Fantasy XVI producer was asked which series he'd like to remake given the chance. Oh man, that's a super tough question, he said. The one that I would like to make myself would be Final Fantasy III, I think. Of course, I do know there are requests for Final Fantasy IX to be made, but when you think about 9, it's a game with huge volume. I have not played 9. I'm trying to play the OG games. When you think about all that volume, I wonder if it's possible to remake that as a single title. It's a difficult one. It is a tough question. 9 was originally released in 2000 for the PlayStation. It was directed by Hiroyuki Ito, who would later direct Final Fantasy XII. The game was re-released in 2010. It's a PS1 classic for PS3 and PSP, with Vita arriving in 2012. And then for 2016, it was released for mobile and PC, then PS4 in 2017, and Xbox One and Nintendo Switch in 2019. And then in 2021, a remake was one of the many unannounced titles listed in a GeForce Now database leak. This includes several Square Enix games that would later be officially confirmed, such as the PC version of 7 Remake, a Chrono Cross remaster, which I got the 360 version and it was clunking out, so I just went old school, and Kingdom Hearts 4. So while it has not been officially announced, It's being claimed by multiple sources that there is one in development. And then there's a next big update for Final Fantasy XIV that will kick off Final Fantasy XI Crossover Alliance Raid series. So there you go. So he says it's a big volume, a big task, but he would rather do Final Fantasy III. Okay, so this was also a big topic because I remember this back in 2016. And that is Ghostbusters Answer the Call. So I remember reading about this. I remember when James Rolfe got shitted on because he said, I'm not interested, I'm not going to watch it, and I'm not going to give him my money. And a bunch of people got butthurt. Remember, 2016 was when Bad Orange Man reared his ugly head and apparently unlocked some deep-seated programming in the left that caused them to spurg out like a bunch of freaks. But Paul Feig still cannot let it go and blames backlash on, quote, the political climate of the time. No, of course, because it's never their fault. It's never their fault that no one asked for an all-female cast. No one asked for a reboot. If anything, people were desperate in having Ghostbusters 3 happening. To me, if you want a Ghostbusters 3 movie with the OG, not counting Afterlife, play the video game, literally the third movie, and they grabbed everything, from the first two movies and kind of repackaged it in an awesome game. Probably one of my favorite movie-based games. But yeah, claims critics were Trump supporters. Ah, yes, Trump supporters. I remember when this is where the meaning of being a sexist lost its meaning, because that was the cheap counter argument from these people. Well, you're just a sexist. No, I'm just someone who wants good comedy. I'm proud to say I have yet to see this movie and never will. And if I ever decided that I wanted to, I will go out of my way to make sure it loses money by like pirating it or something, But then again, I wouldn't want my hard drive or my computer to be tainted with the evil that is Answer the Call. So chances are I will never watch it unless I'm over at someone's house and they do all the dirty work to get it situated. And I'm just like, sure, we'll see what happens. Anyway, so in yet again an attempting to blame the film's failure on the undefined specter of bigotry, Answer the Call director Paul Feig has claimed that not only was the backlash to his all-female franchise reboot as a result of the political climate of the time, but many of those who were unhappy with the film were unabashed Trump supporters. The reboot director, this is from Bounding in the Comics, by the way, where I'm reading this from. The reboot director offered the latest reflection on the discourse surrounding his 2016 box office bomb. Dude, and I remember they were pushing it so hard that when it came out, they were like, oh, it's doing great. It's doing amazing. And it was like mixed reviews at best. But I want to know who is asking, like who is bringing up these questions, because no one cares. It's like these people are masochists. They just want their wounds to be open. Or wait, or is it? Because what, sadists like seeing the pain and masochists enjoy the pain, right? I think that's how it works. Anyway. So he offers his latest reflection while answering a handful of fan questions. So a fan brought this, fans, as submitted to him by the readership of the UK news outlet The Guardian. So in conclusion to his Q&A, Feig was met with the inquiry, why did you make 2016 Ghostbusters a full-blown reboot that ignored the original films? To which he explained, Bill Murray had publicly said he didn't want to do another Ghostbusters at that point. Harold Ramis has died. Yeah, you showed so much respect for Harold Ramis, by the way. Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson were there, but half the team felt weird. It had been 30 years and Bill and the gang were so iconic, I didn't want to do anything that hurt the original movies. And yet you made the movie anyway. Because I remember the the first trailer that Sony released with Ghostbusters Answer the Call. And it said, like, years ago or whatever, 4 scientists saved New York City. And then they had to change it to make sure that they had no connection to the original. And yet they have Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson in the movie. So thus a self-defeating purpose. But anyway. In fact, I think I still have my review that I did of the trailer still on my channel. I probably still agree with what I said then. The question itself now answered. Excuse me. Fee, completely of his own volition, then turned his attention to discussing the film's poor reception. The political climate of that time was really weird, with Hillary Clinton running for office in 2016, said the Bridesmaid director. There are a lot of dudes looking for a fight. Oh my God. No. Oh my gosh. See the projection. No one was looking for a fight. People just said, oh, we didn't want this. And then you guys took offense to it. And so now you're coming out swinging away. And then you get ass mad when someone uppercuts you because your punches are like that of a spurred out monkey or something. When I was getting piled on Twitter, I'd go back and see who they were. So many were Trump supporters. Oh, man. You're trying to act all tough, but you had to go back and see like who were saying all this stuff. What a bitch. Dude. Oh my gosh. Dude, I even have like the flypaper and stuff. These little bastards. They're just weaseling. Anyway. Then Trump came out against us. He was like, they're remaking. Yeah, I remember this. What's going on? They're remaking Indiana Jones. I can't. Man, a lot of people can do a Trump impression, and I apparently cannot. I think I'd have to practice, though. Anyway. They're remaking Indiana Jones without Harrison Ford. See, I feel like I'm bad, so whatever. So there's better people that can do an impression than me. I'd have to study. Anyway, you can't do that. And now they're remaking, and now they're making Ghostbusters with only women. What's going on? And he got all upset. Everybody went fucking cannibal. Dude, you got wrecked. Turned the movie into a political statement. No, you turned the movie into a political statement because you, at some point, sat down and said, you know what's a good franchise? Ghostbusters. I really like Ghostbusters. You know what we should do is have Ghostbusters, but have it all be women. Why? Because, you know, equality. That's what you did, Paul Feig. You're the one that made it a political statement. When your knee-jerk reaction is, I want to remake or reboot this franchise, but make it all women and stuff, like that's your go-to, you are indeed the real bigot. In fact, I've said this before, I'll say it again, half the time, well, not half, I'd say 80%, because a broken clock is right twice, minus AM and PM. But 80% of the time, these people are the real bigots because they're projecting all of their own racism and bigotry onto others because they have determined that in order to go through life and to analyze life, you have to have a checkbox of what sex is involved, what gender is involved, what race is involved, blah, 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 blah. That's how you have to analyze life. And that is the purest, rawest form of everything that they say they fight against. And the fact that those fuckers cannot realize it is absolutely hilarious. And at the end of the day, it's all for clout. And they're a bunch of fucking narcissists. And the funniest, the icing on the cake is the fact is that they think they're catering to the higher power, that if they would be in control forever, that they would get some sort of reward for following them. No, they would be discarded immediately. That's the ultimate irony of everything. These people are fucking brainwashed and programmed to be dumbasses. And I have sympathy for some, but my sympathy is very short. Thank the Lord he has the agape love to offer grace and salvation to anyone who repents and turns to Christ. Because I couldn't do it. I'd be smiting people left and right. Because it's like, dude, how are you that fucking stupid? Anyway. So it turned the movie into a political statement, as if to say, if you're pro-women, you're going to go see this. If you're not, then... Dude, you called people bigots for not seeing this. You insulted James Rolfe. Patton Oswalt got shitted on because he made fun of James Rolfe, and so people responded by mocking you about your then dead wife and asking if she's in the movie. Oh my gosh. Dude, these people are so narcissistic. Oh my gosh. And they claim they're the ones being woke, that they're woken up and see the truth. They need to get punched and put back to sleep. Wake up when, like, you're not retarded. I didn't think it mattered at all that the main characters were women. Then why'd you make them... Why did you say we have to have an all-female cast? Why? Don't say that I didn't mind. I didn't think it mattered at the time that the main characters were women, but people brought a lot of baggage. Well, you made Bridesmaids that was all about women. So you did. It did matter to you. It did matter that you had to do it. Gosh. As noted above, this is far from the first time Feig has attempted to blame the bombing of Answer the Call on a supposed hate campaign. Speaking to the film's failure in 2018, while being interviewed by The Telegraph's Robbie Collin, the directors declared, "I had been dying for somebody to look at Hillary Clinton's campaign and us because we were caught in the exact same vortex. It was shocking. I still think about it a lot, honestly. Sometimes I'm like, okay, stop thinking about it," he told his host, "but you guys can't do it because your guys' self-worth and your guys' way to get some sort of accommodation in life is by putting all your hopes and dreams into other people and what they think about you. And then it gets shattered when a lot of people are like, dude, one, we don't care, or two, who are you? Or three, wow, that's retarded, and then move on. Because I'm really proud of the movie, and while people still send me mean things, does he like open up his mailbox and they're just hate letters? Oh my gosh. Overwhelmingly, I think, isn't he on? I'm sure I made a tweet to him and it was like, dude, you're stupid. More people tell me they love it. Well, let me see who these people are. Like, and yeah, then why even bother if you're getting things that people are saying they love it? Then focus on them. The thing is, these people cannot let it go. Parents and children, women in their 20s and 30s who are inspired to go into science. No, 20s and 30s. Notice it's not the people who like the original franchise. The people who are more like up to date and stuff like that. Well, hold on. I shouldn't say that just yet. That was my knee-jerk reaction, which I try not to do a whole lot. Let's see. Ghostbusters. When was the OG one? 1984. And this came out in 2016. 2016 minus 1984. So people would be like 32. Okay. I'll give them that. But notice how he's pointing out women in their 20s and 30s. Well, no, because the 20s would be later. But the people who've seen the franchise and stuff, they're well beyond their 30s, who are inspired to go to science or in love with Kate McKinnon. That's why you made the movie, just because people like Kate McKinnon? Oh, my gosh. Anyway, but I definitely, plus she's gay, or right? Isn't she like gay or something? But I definitely felt like we were the icebreaker going through the Arctic. People weren't yet used to the idea that this could happen. It wasn't the fact that it was an idea that just could happen. It was the fact that people were asking for Ghostbusters 3 for a long, long time. Bill Murray constantly said no, and then Harold Ramis passed away. And then, whoop, we're making a new Ghostbuster movie. It's like, dude, fuck you, dude. That's it. It's over. It's done. At least Afterlife tipped their hat to the OG. Is Afterlife as memorable as the OG? Probably not. I definitely got nostalgic feeling, but in terms of if I remember the story, a little bit of it. Are there lines from the movie from Afterlife that I'd quote? No. Unfortunately, no. And I haven't even seen the ice one. I don't even remember what that one's called because they started going the woke route. It ignited these passions that were already around because Trump was stirring them up. Oh my gosh, just blaming Trump. I think these guys felt they were losing control. No, you felt that you were losing control. You felt because when Trump was elected as president, all your guys' racism and bigotry were threatened. So you had to project it onto so many people. So likewise, reflecting on his failure on a 2020 interview with Sirius XM host Jess Cagle, Feig asserted, I think some really brilliant author or research or sociologist need to write a book about 2016 and how intertwined we were with Hillary and the anti-Hillary movement. And it was just like this year where, I don't know, just everyone went to a boiling point. I don't know if it was having an African-American president for 8 years teed them up or something, but they were just ready to explode. Obama was a shit president. Dude, Obama's the one that brought all of this social justice bullshit into the mix. And people were tired of it. They said, we want to be left alone, but you guys had to make it the priority to be woke. It's crazy how people go nuts about women trying to be in power or in positions that weren't normally are. And it was an ugly year. And yet none of the women who are like, there's the wage gap. We can do the same jobs too. Notice how not a lot of women take up working on oil rigs, work in construction, doing all the strenuous manual labor jobs. Oh, they would want to get paid that amount, but they shouldn't have to do the work because I'm a woman. Oh, that's the end of the article. Wow, I lost major brain cells from that. Luckily, I can retain them and summon them back. But dear Lord, Paul Feig, move the hell on. No one liked your movie. No one asked for your movie. Stop blaming it on Trump supporters and stuff. It sucked. And you insulted men into it, if I heard correctly. You made all the men in there were retarded, probably aside from the OG cast. Because, oh yeah, that's right. These guys made the franchise that we're bastardizing. All right. So we got some rumors here coming from that Park Place. Assassin's Creed Shadows originally featured male Japanese main character, and game could be delayed even further. So this is a big one coming out. As a lot of people are talking about how because of the delay, it could be possible that Yasuke could be replaced. Now, I don't think it's going to be. The OG X post straight up says that they're clearly using the story of Naoe and Yasuke. So I don't believe they're going to be replacing him. I so wish they would, but no. Again, I pointed this out before. Yasuke was the golden goose that they found in terms of the perfect person to make a DEI woke game. They are not going to let that go. But supposedly, there is a new rumor that claims that the game originally featured a male Japanese main character and that the game could be delayed even further after Ubisoft recently delayed it to February 2025. And then they delayed the game to 2025 at the same time it announced it might barely break even during its current financial year. So the company stated the company now expects net bookings of around 1.95 billion, I guess, and around break-even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. I have another one here. Another article talking about Assassin's Creed 2. I don't know if this one's gonna. I also heard like people were throwing around that like Ubisoft is close to bankruptcy. So that's funny. So it went on to announce the delay of Assassin's Creed Shadow and why it was doing so. And we've kind of read this already. It's because Star Wars Outlaws didn't do what they hoped they were, what they were hoping it would, even though plenty of people told them this is garbage. You know, excuse me. Sorry, allergies. While the game is feature complete, the learning from the Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure with Naoe and Yasuke bringing two very different gameplay styles. Yeah, so that's actually from the post, and that's why I don't believe they're going to get rid of Yasuke. Because they straight up stated they're polishing the gameplay styles for the dual protagonist. So no way they're getting rid of Naoe Yasuke. Now I would love him to be made into a background NPC. Like that would be fantastic and give Japanese people the respect they deserve. Company added, "We are departing from the traditional season." I've read this already. They're not doing season pass. You can enjoy it February 14th. And those who pre-order the game, get their first expansion free. The game will mark the return of our new releases it's going to come into Steam. So now a new rumor from YouTuber Endymion, who alleges to have spoken with a number of individuals at Ubisoft and who have worked with the company in the past, claims that the game could be delayed even further and that the game originally featured a male Japanese protagonist instead of Yasuke. So there's the video right there if you want to go check him out. He shared, "My source told me, however, that they heard February 2025 is simply a placeholder release date as of now. Apparently, this is because Ubisoft is scrambling and they need certain key talent in order to assist on a QT game release," which, if you don't know what that means, there's 4 quarters to a calendar year. So I said key. Q2. Did I say key 2? I don't know what I said. I know I said it wrong, though. Cute. Damn my dyslexia. Anyway, Q2 means Ubisoft has something that they think will hit that is coming out later in the year that they need help on. So because talent at the studio is working to make that the future release comes out more smoothly, Shadows is not being given the extra hand it kind of needs right now. Oh, so... If that's true, it's like, well, this is a lost cause. Let it sink. Let it burn. Look at that. Because they don't care about the money. They never cared about the money. About pushing the message. I am so glad Assassin's Creed is absolutely getting shitted on. Absolutely. So like I said, that the release date may actually be pushed back even further, he reiterated. He then revealed the source told him the game originally featured a Japanese male protagonist. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. I need a like. like chug a bunch of water like before going live and stuff. Cause yeah, to like get out all of the like extra air and stuff. I was told when they originally saw the game, there was indeed a male Japanese protagonist with their own finalized art and even animations. Oh man, dude, Ubisoft, anybody out there? You know, I'm a small YouTuber. You know, we're trying to grow here. I am so open if anyone could send me if these art and animation exist. I would love to see that. And if someone sends it to me, I will show the crap out of that. Oh, that would be fantastic to see if that's true. They don't know if this character will be reintroduced to replace Yasuke, but they are skeptical that Ubisoft will actually remove Yasuke altogether due to the whole political, backlash they'll get from journalists and so on, he added. Here's my thing. Because isn't there Ubisoft studios, like, all over the world and stuff? Like, maybe if there's... I can't say based, because I feel all the Ubisoft studios are bastardized in DEI in some way, shape, or form. But wouldn't it be nice if, like, another studio was like, okay, you guys done fucked up over in Canada. Yoink, give us that. We're fixing this. That'd be amazing. I don't know if that can, like... I doubt that actually works in the industry, but wouldn't that be nice? Next, he shared details about the game. They did say that the game's first act is heavily story-driven until it eventually opens up to your more traditional open-world Ubisoft experience, and that the big hurdle there, if they were to remove Yasuke, would be to practically change almost everything about Act 1, so to speak, if they were to remove the character entirely. Good. Remove him. They need to lose as much money as possible, and if they go bankrupt, so be it. So be it. This could be the crowning jewel of making a statement in the gaming industry that no one asks for DEI, no one asks for these bastardizations, no one asks about it. No one wants it. Anybody who wants this stuff is of a fringed, retarded minority that are a lot of times activists and were never ever gamers to begin with. Stop listening to them and listen to gamers and accept the fact that in the gaming industry, a lot of the people who make it up are white males. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. Fucking deal with it. This was never a problem in the fucking past. Why is it a problem now? Well, they claim to say, well, it always was a problem in the past. Well, then it was taken care of behind the scenes. And that's how it worked then, and it worked fine, and that's how it should work now. Because if you want to be an activist, your ass should be fired because you care more about that than you do about creating a good game. Go make money. Go be a paid shill if you want to. Stay the fuck out of gaming. So could they remove Yasuke with this already done, but thrown aside Japanese character? It's a big maybe, but they said they weren't sure of it yet, he said. They also told me they heard rumblings that Sweet Baby Inc. may have had a hand in Shat. Of course, dude, of course they do. I'll say it. I have no receipts, but I'm saying it. Of course they had a hand in. Of course they had a hand in it. Of course they did. Don't they list Ubisoft in their fucking stupid client sheet? You damn well know they've had a hand in some way, shape, and form. That's just my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't have receipts, but I will not be surprised if that turns out to be the case. But my gut tells me they had a hand in it. But they can't confirm that 100% yet, so take that allegation with a huge, big, fat shot of skepticism right now, okay? As for when this Japanese male protagonist was sidelined, Endymion revealed that the game did first include a male Japanese main character, but they were swapped sometime during 2020, according to my sources, for Yasuke instead. Yes, 2020. Remember all the historians that these people looked up. We read some articles talking about their past work and their research. All of their research is like a 3-year research. They did not go to people who've been doing this for like a long time. Historians that have had like 10 plus years under their belt. No, they went with people who conveniently had the same ideology and whose big works and research they do are only in like a 3-year like written period in terms of like publishing their research and stuff. It's all recent. When asked why Ubisoft chose Yasuke over this male Japanese character, he revealed they said that Ubisoft was heavily influenced by the socio-political events of the time with stuff like, and no, I'm not kidding, George Floyd dying, the riots, and Black Lives Matter exploding in support. What did I say? These guys probably jizzed for like 5 minutes straight when they discovered a person like Yasuke was historically recorded back in the day and had little to no information about him. They probably could have filled an entire sperm bank because they were so happy that they were given this DEI golden goose. He added, Ubisoft may have opted to include Yasuke in order to pander to identity politics because of BLM. Furthermore, he shared his source informed him that Ubisoft was horrified by the response to Yasuke from the fandom, and they actually thought including him would be a really big selling point for the game. These people, there you go right there. The people in charge know nothing about games. They know nothing about games. They were probably never gamers. They just, if anything, have a business marketing degree. That's all they have. This is how out of touch the higher-ups are. They apparently believed by inserting Yasuke that they could garner and pander to the modern audience. And yet these are the people that can't even define what the modern audience is because they're fags. Interesting, one of the Endymon's source also provided him information on why Ubisoft decided to delay the game. He shared the thing that actually spooked Ubisoft more than anything else was how Japan reacted to the one-legged Troy Gate figurine. Remember that that's the merchandise product where Yasuke and Naoe are standing on a symbol of Nagasaki, getting the atom bomb dropped on them, yet these characters take place in Japan well before that even happens. Yeah, that was a big thing. What's up? You're wrong. I don't understand why a huge Japanese company turns to these nobodies. What's even worse is Ubisoft turned to Western experts for Japanese history. Experts. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the article talking about Dragon Quest. They're being lied to. They're being lied to with these regulations. And this cultural devastating piece that proved that Ubisoft was not adequate enough to make the game or really know anything about the time period, it led to the higher-ups admitting defeat and demanding that the game get a culture do-over, if you will. He continued, they want things to be more authentic because the one-legged Tory Gate incident was so embarrassing and baffling that they didn't want anything else like that to happen again in their history. Oh, so the seasons with wrong blooming cherry blossoms, that wasn't a problem. The stolen flag, that wasn't a problem. Chinese architect, that wasn't a problem. No, it was like, oh, yeah. These people are trying to say we are so culturally inclusive. These people don't know shit about culture. Like common sense stuff. How did the hell do you not just go, oh, yeah, you know what, that Troy Gate figurine? People could probably like kind of connect that to the atom bomb of Nagasaki. The self-awareness, absolutely zero. Because they're narcissists. There it is right there. Yeah, no one's going to mind this. Oh my gosh. He then shared why Ubisoft chose 2025 of February as of now. From what I'm being told, it's because they believe they will be there's going to be a AAA gaming drought around that time. So they're hoping that they can capitalize by releasing Shadows then instead of November 15th, which was its original release date, even though there were plenty of games coming around that time, like Monster Hunter Wilds will release in that same period. He then opined, which makes me believe that Ubisoft will indeed push the game even further back than intended. He also shared that sources informed him that the rap music, which was featured in earlier promotional video from the game, is being removed from the final project. Oh my gosh. So one thing for sure is getting removed in Shadows, according to my sources, is the rap hip-hop music for Yasuke. Apparently, Ubisoft brought out a questionnaire and they were unanimously told that the rap music was tonally wrong and completely unneeded, and that it was actually offensive that Ubisoft believed Yasuke needed a hip-hop battle theme in a game that was set well before such music existed, and was only implemented because Yasuke was black. So that's going to be gone for sure. Yeah, and that just showcases, if that's true, that they're racist. Again, these people are the racist ones. Hip-hop, because he's black. Like, did you guys... Hey, Ubisoft, sit down and watch the anime series Samurai Champloo. Then you can maybe get an understanding of how you can kind of make that work. But yeah, hip-hop was not around during that time. And then they're also going to be removing dialogue from the game that, according to my source, told me it would actually enrage players if they heard it. Oh, can we get the voice lines for those? Because that's probably already recorded. That'd be amazing. Wasn't given concrete examples of what kind of dialogue, but the source assumed it may have been Yasuke saying some sort of socio-political pandering nonsense about he was sold by white men or something, and that he hates white men and white supremacy must be abolished and such. Oh gosh, I would not put it past it if that was actually like a dialogue line. Someone leak those sound waves. The people want to claim to know anything about this black samurai. There's basically nothing outside a couple mentions of him. Nobody knows anything really about him. No, there's already been people who literally went to the Hall of Records that has the official recordings of this dude, and it is nothing that they're claiming he is. And they're also removing this because, of course, if that were in the game, it would absolutely be highlighted and used to attract even more people from supporting the game in the future. But remember, folks, they want you to buy the game and then play 15 minutes so you can play 15 minutes of it, and then you can have a conversation with them. Don't go based off of like the exclusive gameplay footage they gave you when they showed it. Don't go off of that. You know, something that a trailer is usually for movies. Don't go off of that. You got to buy the game first, and then we could maybe consider having a discussion, but of course they wouldn't. Well, if those rumors are indeed true, that is insane. Almost like with this rumor about how the pre-orders have only about 70% is 7% the pre-order numbers of Valhalla during the same time period. Though this is another new rumor claiming that the pre-orders for Shadows were extraordinarily terrible, so much so that they were, quote, only about 7% the pre-ordered numbers of Valhalla during the same time period. This also apparently comes from Endymion. Dang. Also, we've read Stutter and Craig too, and that his insider told them as of this morning. 70%, Greg. Fake news. I know. I'm bad. Oh, I'm sorry. That was just misinformation on my part. That was just misinformation. The misinformation definition, which means I get a free pass. Obviously, when my enemies say something, it's disinformation, and it was purposely made misinformative. So we've read this one, Stuttering Craig, too, about the pre-orders. Financialist analyst Valiant Renegade has also speculated that the pre-order sales for Assassin's Creed Shadows were subpar and was one of the reasons why Ubisoft chose to delay. Yeah, I happened to stumble across a Valiant Renegade video, and I think he was on Side Scrollers podcast, and yeah, that's crazy. So in a statement given to that Park Place, he shared, once Ubisoft canceled their worldwide press events, even pulling out the massive Tokyo Game Show, the writing was on the wall that Assassin's Creed Shadows was going to get pushed back. Ubisoft obviously saw what was coming, and that was likely a series underperformance of sales upon the game's initial release for the target of November 15th. And then they're saying, 90 days will allow them to polish the game, but they also seem desperate to release it before the end of the fiscal year on March 31st, 2025, as profitable guidance has concurrently been adjusted down with the game market, basically hoping to just break even on the year. He added, he concluded, it's a total mess right now. What's up, Scotty? They lied about regulations. Oh, Dragon's Quest? We haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, if you listen to how they word it and stuff like that, it's a total lie. Like these regulations, like of making sure there needs to be a body type A and B, it's a lie. Think Legal Mindset, kind of. He talked about it too. But that's me. Because I think I said question mark, right? Yeah. The game's pre-orders on the PlayStation Store did not look great. I don't care about that stuff. I got a second pizza out of the oven. Man, I could go for some pizza right now. But there you go. So not only is there rumors of a lot of shit being fixed, like really badly needing fixed, but also the pre-orders. Doing terrible. Good. Fail. All right. So there's been talk with my boy Reuben Langdon here. I've had him on the show a couple times. And one of the things that was recent, since people have been talking about why he hasn't been, why he's not voicing Dante in the upcoming Devil May Cry series, I actually got a response, I think, from the writer and producer of the show. Pretty much because I made even though I thought and worded I tried to get my thoughts and word it as best as I could. I failed at conveying my mention across. He was trying to insult me, but it didn't really mean anything. I ultimately took that as okay, well, now that I'll be more direct then. Because I have been asking, and I haven't gotten an answer yet, so I actually finally reached out to Reuben here, and maybe he'll respond, maybe he won't. My biggest question about the whole thing is, was he even asked if he wanted to reprise his role? Now, in an Instagram post by Johnny Young Bosch, he stated that the guy who wrote the script and wrote the show, and I think also producing it, he wrote Dante with Johnny in mind. And he made a tweet recently, not too long ago, talking about, Reuben Langdon appreciation and stuff like that. And I said, I don't see it as being appreciative when you're writing Dante for an upcoming new Devil May Cry series, and you're thinking of someone else who plays a whole different character, Nero. And did you even ask if Reuben wanted to reprise his role? Didn't he? That's the answer I want to know. And one of the things that was coming up here is people are saying, well, he quit acting. Well, Niche Gamer here says he hasn't quit acting. He just took a break to avoid COVID vaccine mandates, which should not be an issue anymore because COVID is dead. Yes, you heard me. It's dead. It's going to live with us forever, but a lot of the COVID information from the WHO were wrong. I don't think he was, which hurts to hear. Exactly. That's why all of these, well, we appreciate Reuben. And again, I don't have any ill will towards Johnny, but all of the, well, we appreciate you for all you done and making Dante who you are and stuff. How convenient that you're saying this after the deed is done. If you truly cared that he was that much of an influence on the game, which he was, that was the whole reason for Devil May Cry 3, is they specifically wanted to revamp Dante and give him a new personality, and Reuben ultimately was able to do what they wanted to do and got to where we know him as the Dante of today. You cannot take that away from Reuben. And if you're not asking him to reprise his role, you're assholes. Nothing should be hard to go to reach out and be like, do you want to reprise your role? And his voice recording, by the way, too. Fuck COVID vaccine mandates. So iconic actor and game voice actor Reuben Langdon hasn't quit acting despite claims and rumors he ended that career to focus on other projects. Yes, he is working on other projects, and he did say he would love to act again when we were talking on my show. But not long after the new Netflix Devil May Cry animated series got a new trailer and a premiere for early 2025, the same trailer confirmed Langdon would not be reprising his role as the famous demon hunter Dante. The new trailer confirmed Dante. Oh, I really liked the first two games. I mean, Devil May Cry 1 is awesome. Devil May Cry 2, not so much. 3 is absolutely amazing. I love 3. 4 was good, and I really liked 5. But the fact of the matter is that Reuben made Dante who he is, that we know today, from 3 onward. And he already got shifted out of voicing for the mobile game, which ultimately turned out to be a pricing issue, but still. The new trailer confirmed Dante will be voiced by Johnny Young Bosch, which makes no sense because he plays Nero, who voiced his partner character Nero from the original Devil May Cry series. This reveal led to lots of speculation that Langdon had quit acting, and Bosch himself even said he quit acting. Yep. Imagine how I felt when Adi Shankar told me he wrote the role for me to play Dante, Johnny Young Bosch said, and I think this is a leak to his Instagram. Reuben did quit acting, but I'm determined to drag him back at some point. And Adi responded to me, and he hasn't answered my question. Did he ask if Reuben wanted to play Dante? Because don't tell me you're appreciative of what Reuben has done if you never even asked if he wanted to reprise his role. So not long after this, a fan posted a tribute to Langdon and tagged him with it, which surprisingly promoted a replay from the original Dante's voice actor. Or a reply, excuse me. Thanks, but I'm still acting, he said in a post. Just took a break during the Biden COVID jab mandates as I did not want to subject myself to the experimental bioweapon. And as The Who has revealed, a lot of stuff, a lot of concerns and worries about the COVID vaccine were true. Langdon is talking, of course, on the historic 2021 mandates enacted by the Joe Biden administration, which forced tens of millions of Americans to get a vaccine in order to keep their job. The entertainment industry, which he's a part of, naturally followed these mandates. We've been patient, Biden said at the time, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. The unvaccinated minority can cause a lot of damage, and they are. Biden, before and after the COVID vaccine mandates, endless data has been publishing showing at the very least that the COVID-19 vaccines had their efficiency called into question, with critics citing seasonal spikes and resurgence as evidence against them. Reuben has been a vocal critic of the mandates and the vaccine since. So after numerous other countries has banned the use of certain COVID-19 vaccines, and others became more vocal about the constitutionality of the mandates, they dropped the mandates in 2023, which led to government bodies and private employers dropping the mandate for workers. As with any notable public figure, Reuben has previously been asked to comment on a number of socio-political issues, though he has fallen victim to corporate media publishing hit pieces on him, taking things out of context. He explained his situation on my show with Capcom, and that's why he doesn't voice Ken anymore. So the vaccine was dropped at 2023. So, depending on when the show was working back in the day, it could be possible that it was still under the mandate But he dropped the mandate in 2023. So that's at least a year. And acting, depending on how far it is in the project and the recording and stuff, it could be possible that there might have been leeway. In 2021. Announced the requirements. Sorry. And then they ended it. And this was May 2023. So almost 2 full years has not been mandated. I just want the answer. Maybe Reuben, if I get a hold of him again, we can talk or something. But I want to know if he was asked to voice Dante again. And I believe he's in Japan. He lives in Japan. So he can do the recording. He can do the recording from far away. Efficacy? Oh, did I pronounce it wrong? Well, I'm illiterate, so whatever. Gonna try and get into the trilogy come November if I got time to spare. Going to buy the RE trilogy for your birthday coming next week. Nice. And Adi Shankar is a hack fraud. He's the idiot responsible for Netflix Castlevania. I mean, I liked season 1. I stopped watching it after, I guess, season 1. So I think there was some stuff in there that I was like, oh, okay. But yeah. But yes. So now kind of the second, if not the first main topic of everything. So Dragon Quest creator isn't happy with the censorship in Dragon's Quest 3 HD 2D remake. So you guys might have seen this. There's a new interview at Tokyo Game Show 2024. It revealed that the Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii isn't happy with the censorship, among other changes made to the remake. The interview was held with both former Shonen Jump editor-in-chief Kazuhiko Toshiyama, who also had a big role in the creation of Dragon Quest, and Dragon Quest creator Yuji that we just mentioned, talking about the game with Japanese outlet Denfamico Gamer. And I think Denfamico has been a good source for quite a while. Long time. So when the topic of the costume censorship was brought up, both revealed they were unhappy with the changes. There are so many restrictions for exposed skin. This is a lie. There might be some in the actual game rating, which is bullshit in and of itself. But there was never a problem back in the day. He said when the censorship was brought up, the interviewer, a woman, replied saying, "It's fiction. I think it's fine that you should just go into the story and become the main character." Both the interviewer and Horii then questioned why the original costumes were a concern. The interviewer then said, "It's fiction. It's a fictional experience. So long as it's enjoyable, it's fine." Horii followed up by noting, if there's more exposure, the age rating has to go up. That means we can't sell it for all ages. So that right there is kind of bullshit as well. And we see that with the movie rating system as well. Like, think back to, like, prime example I can think of is Dodgeball back in the day. I think that's rated PG-13. You watch the end of the film when what's his name? Goldman? The main bad guy, Ben Stiller's character. The name's slipping me. But he's like, I won that tournament. Fucking Chuck Norris. He drops an F-bomb. Like, the goalposts are constantly moving. So another male interviewer noted rules vary by the country, and when trying to sell globally, the issue of compliance comes up with the strictest regulations. This right here is a lie. These strictest regulations is non-existent, in my opinion. To which the other female interviewer said, "We never thought about this in the past." Exactly. So someone is telling them that there's these strict regulations when there isn't. They're listening to the weirdos who say you need to make it this way so it caters to these people. And then he responded, compliance is like an all-powerful God. It's something that is using the name of good, but is actually bad. It's impossible. Every single person doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's fine to feel uncomfortable. Beautiful and ugly, good and evil. It depends on the person. Based. It's fine as they don't do what you're not allowed to do. Torishima said, in Western countries, there's a root of thinking based on religion, and it influences their sex education, right? Their attitude to compliance is really narrow-minded. Torishima also discussed selling manga in the West. When selling manga in America in the West, everything had to be categorized by age groups. With Shonen Jump, they couldn't be sold unless they were rated age 13 and older because there's a risk of lawsuits and they need to have insurance. What's up, Hazy Skunk over on Rumble? Doing business with a ridiculous country like this is such a hassle. Look at this. Coming from this, Japan gets negatively influenced. Look at this. Ridiculous country. This is what these people are starting to think of us because of these fucking assholes who hate gaming, hate manga, hate anime. They have bastardized it. They have changed the definition of what gaming is and what anime is. The LGBTQ bullshit, they're trying to tell you that and DEI and all that stuff, that is the heart and soul of anime, and that's what it always was. That's a fucking lie. A lot of anime came during the bombing. That's where a lot of people expressed themselves because they were frustrated. I remember learning about this in a liberal college where I got my art degree that I'm trying to use. I do still technically use for my main job. Yeah, there was a big video talking about where like the creator literally animated the bomb exploding and people like melting. Making your rounds, support. Cheers, have a good stream. Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, these losers are giving America a bad image, and it's been going on for a long... Yeah, and I'm someone who I'm a Christian. I study the scripture. I'll tell you what it says, and I'm not pulling my punches about it, and I'm not apologizing for it, because I've done my research to know that it's the truth compared to all the other stuff out there. I put the time in to learn, and I'm still learning. And I'll be the first to tell you that the 90s satanic panic was fucking stupid. Because a lot of people had no idea what they're talking about. Are there occult stuff that are in gaming? Of course there is. Yes, there's some occult stuff in Pokemon. Is it some secret hidden agenda to get you to convert, to program you and stuff like that? A video game? Not really. No. Are there occult people that are actually doing that? Yes. But scripture-wise, Paul tells you to put on the whole armor of God and get ready because we are in war. War is not a spectator sport. Sorry, Christianity is not a spectator sport, and that's what these people do not understand. Now, you don't hover around that area because it could be very infective and poisonous and stuff, but some people actually have to go into the abyss. They have to step into the swamp to fight. That's just how it is. You learn that if you actually read the scripture. It's one thing to cut stuff that is making you sin out of your life. It's another thing that you are so paranoid that you can't do anything outside, so you just make an island unto yourself. That's not what Christianity is. Sorry. Anyway, so later in the interview, the controversial change to remove gendered language from the remake was brought up, in which the game removed male and female pronouns and replaced them with appearance A and appearance B instead. So in Dragon Quest, you used to be able to choose between a male and female protagonist, Horai said. But now you can't choose between a male and a woman anymore. Yes, you can. Just don't listen to the people that are saying that this has to be like this. He added, we have to call them type 1 and type 2. I truly wonder who is even complaining about this. Look at that. They're even suspicious about it. Dude, senpai, it's not us. Please understand, we're not the ones telling you to do this. You clearly have an indication that what you're being told is bullshit. Follow that gut feeling, senpai. Do not believe him. Just say fuck it. We're doing man and woman. So in the original versions of the game, the player was able to choose the male and female gender. The protagonist, the hero, though its remake, has removed the gender language, but kept the visible, distinct body types. Yes, but they even censored it by adding like a cloth and stuff. So that was Niche Gamer's article. That Park Place also talks about this. Yeah, American regulation. He implied that American regulations forced Square Enix to remove gender and alter characters for the upcoming game. The people, what up, Civil Paw? What up, Jason? People who have money aren't. The game is facing a boycott from players not happy about these changes. Ex-user Mongoloyer expressed his distaste for the changes made to Jenna Sharpe, the female hero in the game, in the beginning of September. He wrote, Dragon Quest III art has been censored by ESG Square Enix to cater to the modern audience. No alternative option. You just have to accept the new normal in fiction video games driven by BlackRock and fake Japanese corporations, or simply don't buy it. Well, just hope and pray that some modder does something. Which is sad because you shouldn't have to. But that's why I respect the modding community and the translation groups, because they see the bullshit. And then numerous players has expressed they're not going to get the game on Steam. And it was revealed that it had removed the option for players to choose between male and female, and instead of labeling A and B. And then we've got, comments right here. Cabrutus Rambo's DEI detective website also cited they removed the choice to choose between male and female, as well as trolls being censored by having their lips removed. Oh, yeah. We looked at this one. Here's your various differences. HT2 remake, Switch, original artwork. I'm not sure about that one. Everything's fine. Well, bam, not fine. So again, covering the Tokyo Game Show. You've got, the comments that we literally just read. And then, of course, you can find the video right here. You notice that male is always body one. I'm amazed the crazy hasn't complained about that. Well, that was the whole irony of the whole thing. Is that the placement of, A and B, 1 and 2, is literally male and female. So literally there's no point in changing it because you kept the kind of the setup the same. So it's a self-defeating censorship. So dumb. As translated by Volute News, Hori responded, yeah, there are various regulations in place. Apparently it's not allowed to show too much skin. And we've already read this. I really don't understand that either. If there's too much exposure, the age rating goes up. It means we won't be able to sell it as an all-age product. And then when asked about complying with various countries' regulation, Torishima chimed in, under the name of compliance, it's like an absolute god and evil disguised as good. There's no such thing as content that doesn't make everyone uncomfortable because beauty and ugliness, good and evil are different for everyone. Yeah, we've already read this. I'm just trying to see if there's anything like kind of new added. Nope, so we already read this on Niche Gamers. We have to label Type 1 and Type 2. I really wonder who's even complaining about this. Again, yeah, just reiterating the fact that in this interview, they are super sus about, where are these regulations coming from? Like, we have no idea where these are coming from. All the more reason to find out where they are indeed coming from. And we know where they're coming from. The biggest hurt was doing business with such a ridiculous country. That's how Japan is starting to think about us. Thanks to the wokies and the DEIs. This censorship is getting out of hand. Of course, they want it to get out of hand. They want to bastardize everything. They want to destroy the industry because they don't care about it. They never cared about it. Yeah, it looks like this article pretty much covers exactly like what we're talking about, aside from the additional information about. I do love the troll changes. Because I look at this and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. And then the people said, well, that's offensive. Well, why is it offensive? Well, you know, it's like blackface. I'm not the one that brought it up. You racist asshole. The people who notice this stuff are the biggest racists of all. Because they're looking for it. Got to change this because this could be offensive. Really? Because I didn't care about it. What are you looking for? I just looked at this and I saw a troll. I saw a nipple. That's what I was looking at. Sensitivity of the left, removing biology and sex. Or ETX. I don't know if that was a misspelling, Jason, but yeah. Just finished your 2 slices. They were really good. But yeah, I hate that these monsters are destroying art. Well, we are definitely seeing some pushback. We are doing it too. And I said it, and I don't mind saying it, but yeah, if Ubisoft needs to straight up burn to the ground, then let it be done. Because right now Ubisoft is the biggest wake-up call to all this stuff. It's the biggest one. And if what those rumors we read, if true, then waves are definitely being made. It was a 2-part thing, got cut off on character limits. I gotcha. Character limits? Boo. Oh, I missed the one that you sent. I gotcha. As a gamer in his 40s, I remember when games were censored because of the perceived sensitivities of the religious right. Yep, removing crosses, etc. Now it's censored based on the perceived sensitivities of the left, removing biology. Yep, exactly. And I stated earlier, I don't know if you were here, Jason, I stated earlier, I grew up in the 90s. Dude, my parent, I'm a Christian. My family's Christian. My mom, is a churchgoer and does service with her church and volunteers and all that stuff. We read Harry Potter because we're not retarded. Because we knew at the end good was going to win. Oh my gosh. Because some people are like, I'm not going to say that because it's a demon name, or I could be invoking a cantation or whatever. If, in all honesty, if you have the Holy Spirit inside of you and whatnot, it has no power over you. Has no power over you. You're a retard, Harry. Oh, yeah, Maggie Smith passed away, too. That sucked. We covered it in the last show, but that's... You're a retard, Harry. I'm a what? A retard, and a thumping good one. And then it's gotten to the point where even Elon Musk weighed in on the Dragon's Quest creator, accusing America regulation. Oop. It was reported at the beginning of this month that developer Square Enix was removing the option for players to choose between male and... Yeah, we already know this. No distinction. This was reported by Rio Kutia, 2089. And this person even notes that the A version is voiced by a male actor and the B version is voiced by, a female. So it defeats the point. On top of the main character having their sex removed from the character select, also reported that jobs will also no longer be distinguished by gender and name. Yeah, we've read this before. I feel like they took a lot of information from a past article and are like kind of padding it with this article. Yeah, because we're seeing like that stuff. And then, yeah, I think we're probably going to be wrapping up here because I'm not really seeing any new additional information. We've got what we wanted, but hey, always good to get across the spectrum, I guess you could say, of different reports and stuff. As much, oh man, I should probably like make a section where I look at Kotaku stuff, you know, all the lefty stuff and see what they're saying just to compare. That'd be pretty funny. You really want to play these HD 2D remakes, but yeah, I guess not. Maybe on PC with mods. I know, that's the thing. It's getting to the point where if you want to truly experience the developers or the creators' vision of a game, you got to play the OGs. You got to play the OGs. Don't bother with remakes. Get the PC port and hope people mod it or emulate it. Get the ROMs. Do what you have to do. Rest well, dude. I'm watching a 9-hour video on Lost. Oh, well, enjoy that 9-hour. I'm heading off for now. Also, translation patch will likely happen within a few weeks of release. Oh, yeah, because somebody's going to be like, yeah, this is not what they're talking about. Yep, but here you go. Even Musk straight up just said, this is insane to this. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, that park place. Look, I know you need stuff, but I remember reading an article about this from the past. Like all of this, aside from the new stuff here. And then just at the end, then getting to what Musk thought. Well, there's that. Let's not end on a salty note, shall we? Let's see. Let's bring up, this day in gaming, where we'll see what games were released today that we can tip our hat to and enjoy. Derp. We usually go to Game Informer and Moby Games, even though I think Moby Games have been infested. Oh, Doom 2 was released today. Man, 30 years ago. Seiken Densetsu 3. I don't know if anybody knows that. Street Fighter Alpha 2. Got your Age of Empires. F-Zero X. Tales of Destiny. Final Fantasy Anthology. Oh, wow, there's a lot of them. Yeah, Age of Empires 2. Grand Theft Auto 2. Dang. Harvest Moon, if you like a Harvest Moon. Gran Turismo. Oh, Silent Hill Homecoming. I got that game. I should just get rid of it because honestly, to me, if any, play the 1 through 4. Double nice. Ooh, Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Tag Team. Then you got Gran Turismo, the real driving simulator. Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor, if that was your thing. I enjoyed that one. I haven't played... Wait. Oh, I'm thinking of Shadows of War. I don't know. I started playing Shadows of War and the Charm kind of fell out. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak was 3 years ago. All right. And then over on Moby Games, they got a more bigger list, like from all over the world. See if there's anything. Knight Rider in Japan for the Famicom. Oh, a Yu Yu Hakusho game that was apparently on the TurboGrafx 16. Daffy Duck. I'm just naming off some names and pointing out the ones that I'm familiar with. Man, I own a lot of those games, and so many are good. The new Hobbit game looks absolute trash. Seiken Detsu 3 is the sequel to Secret of Mana. It's called Visions of Mana in the recent release of it in the West. Ooh, I played Sword of Mana with some patches. I thought Sword of Mana was a great game. Definitely reminded me of Secret of Mana. Megami Tengoku for the TurboGrafx 16. TurboGrafx CD. Let's see. That was in like your 94. Oh my gosh, guys. Barkley Shut Up and Jam in Japan for the Super Famicom. Woo! Zoop. Fantastic Four. Huh. Hey, Rampage World Tour, Sega Saturn version. I heard the Rampage game was pretty good. Oh my gosh, Pokemon Red version was released. The Game Boy version. How is that not on? Wait, we are on September 30th. Yeah, how is that not on? How did GameFAQs miss that? Really? Let me make sure I'm reading that right. That was, yeah, 1998, Pokemon Red, United States. Well, but there you go. Yeah. What else we got? We're in the 99 now. Not really seeing anything. Wait a minute. Rising Zan, the Samurai Gunman. I'm going to look into this one. Because when you combine Samurai and Western guns, I am there. Because I played what was it? Samurai Western or Western Samurai. That was a pretty fun game. Fun fact: if you dump the ROM of Visions of Mana from the Mana collection, it will run on original SNES hardware. Also, nice again. Nice. I mean, emulation's getting to the point where it's literally a 1-to-1 with the hardware. It's getting crazy. Let's see. I'll make sure I'm not on. Okay. What else we got? If you were a fan of Army, I actually remember, I think Eric had Army Men Sarge's Heroes. I think he had that for the 64. Hey, Dino Crisis 2, United States. If you're a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Game Boy Color came out. Mystic Heroes, PlayStation 2, United States. Deer Hunter 2003. I always liked Deer Avenger. I like that game where you were Bambo and you go out and hunt the hunters. Lure them in with like beer and pizza and then fart so that they can hopefully pick up your stench. Then you take them out with your 357 nickel-plated Magnum. Oh, your Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2 for PlayStation 2 in Japan was released. Ooh, the Windows version in Poland for Silent Hill 4 was released, The Room. Let's see. Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Shard in Australia and New Zealand for Windows. I don't know how good. Some of these games I know are pretty good. Other ones I feel like I've seen the name, so I'm just pointing them out. Star Wars, The Clone Wars, Fierce Twilight. Apparently it's a browser version. Silent Hill Homecoming, like we pointed out. Sonic Chronicles, The Dark Brotherhood. The Hardy Boys, The Hidden Theft. Windows version for the United States and Canada. The Hardy Boys, two young whippersnappers for a knack for solving mysteries. Hardy Boys in A Case of the Urinal Turd. The Hardy Boys in The 9/11 Tower Conspiracy. What else? We're in the 2010. Not seeing a whole lot. Kind of winding down. Oh man, the more I do this, the more I just kind of get sad because as the years go down, like you start to see the decline of like good games because it's just like, oh, I'm sure there's some there, but man, back in the day we had a great Ninja Pizza Girl was released worldwide on Windows. I don't know if you like pizza. Pokemon Red re-release, cool. Oh gosh, Ghostbusters VR now hiring. Jeez. Just because we read that article about Paul Feig still being butthurt that everyone hated his Answer the Call bullshit movie. All right, we're in 20. Yeah, look at that. Look at this. Ugh. It's like we got to find that one date that has the good ones. But we're not seeing it. 2021. I thought that said Doom Woke, and I was like, that game probably failed, but it's Doom Work. X Zeus, the complete collection. Ooh, Putin versus Zombies, man. Worldwide on that Windows on Steam. Yep, we're not. Oh, no. Not seeing any good ones. That is it. Unless you want to get I Commissioned Some Cats 3. All right. But there you guys go. That is all I have for tonight. So if you enjoyed the show, make sure to leave a like. If you're new, subscribe. Turn on notifications to get notified when I go live. We've been playing Blue Dragon. We'll probably continue that tomorrow. I'll look at the backlog list, see if there's maybe a shorter game that we can look up, and we can start up something new there. Kind of in a hack and slash mood, but I feel like I've played a lot of my hack and slash games. But you never know. We were on YouTube, Rumble, and X in my locals. So if you want to check me out there, you can. You can also find my other social media that I hardly use in the description below, or you can follow me on X, and then you can check out my link tree, as I'll have those listed in there, but my profile is open. So yeah, there we go. Making waves in that gaming industry, localization, all that fun stuff. It was good to hear for some folks like you, Jason. Hope you're doing good, man, if you're still here. But yeah, I am going to go get me some food. But yeah, we'll be on tomorrow, 8 p.m. Central Time. Do some gaming. Again, we do that Tuesdays and Thursdays while trying to do shows Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But yeah, you guys have a good rest of your night. Take care. God bless. And I'll catch you guys on the flip side. So, peace.